Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Office Hours. It's just me again. I realized last week, or I forgot last week, that actually Flo is on holiday from now for about 3 weeks. So it'll just be me this week. And then I'm also on holiday from next week onwards. So we'll figure something out, hopefully. So it's just me again this week. If it's the first time for some of you and you're not sure what goes on, you're more than welcome to ask any questions you have. That's what the hour is for. I'm here to answer any WeWeb questions. So if you have any, please do put them in the chat, or you're welcome to join me in person. I will put a link in the chat for you. Hey, Alex. If you have a question, Alex, like I say, you're more than welcome to put it in the chat, or feel free to join me via the link I just put in the chat. None so far, but fingers crossed we can get a few. Like I say, if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or you can join me in person. I'll put the link to join me again in the chat. This hour is purely just to ask any questions you have. There's no stupid questions. So if you're stuck on anything, you're curious on anything, you're more than welcome to ask away. Hey, Kiara. I mean, that's pretty much our bread and butter at the minute. It's one of the main priorities. I don't know how much you've explored WeWeb, but we do have an AI assistant that can build for you. And we're trying to improve it as much as we can as the weeks go by. So in terms of what we have planned, we have things that are already in place. And in terms of plans, we're just looking to improve it as much as possible. I do think there's a differentiator between us and Lovable, though, just in terms of ownability. I think we see more of AI as an assistant as opposed to the primary builder. I think Lovable AI comes first and you come secondary in a way. Whereas I think with us, you come first and AI is more of an assistant. Yeah, as I say, we have AI in place. I don't know if you had a chance to explore it yet, but if you haven't, I highly recommend you give it a go. And we're looking to just improve that as much as possible over the next coming months. My bad. I do apologize. I was muted. Thank you. Yes. So we have done this in the past. We actually did a webinar last Wednesday with Zano. It was with Zano, obviously, not Superbase, but the same principles apply. We built an AI chat assistant. And as I said, that was obviously done in WeWeb. We have done YouTube videos in the past as well, where we've built AI chat assistants, kind of like Chat GPT clones. I'll try and find them out now, and I'll put a few links in the chat of the different videos we've done, because I can't remember if we have done it with Superbase in the past. But if we haven't, as I say, the same principles still apply. Can you hear me? I think I'm off mute now. Could you hear me there, Gabriel? Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Yes. As I say, I will. Oh well, actually, I just realized someone independently has put up a video of how to build a chat app using WeWeb and Zano, which is super handy. I haven't had a chance to look through this yet, but I'll put it in the chat for you anyway. Hopefully it's good. As I say, I haven't had a chance to look at this yet, but they're doing exactly that. They're building a chat app using WeWeb and Zano. And I'll try and pull up some other ones that we've done in the past. Where I don't think we use Superbase, but still it might be useful for reference. Yes, I've just put two examples in the chat. They're both with Zano, unfortunately. I couldn't find any Superbase ones other than the first one I linked. But those Zano ones, as I say, the same principles still apply. It's just a different backend you're using at the end of the day, but you should be able to follow the same core steps. And Steve has joined me. Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Hi, Matthew, can you hear me?
Yes, all good.
Awesome. I have a quick question. I can share my screen.
Yes.
You're seeing, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do like this Airbnb effect when you like hover one of the cars here. The map, the pin gets like highlighted in some way. So I was wondering if you know how to do it or if you have any approach so I can take a look or any documentation.
Yes, that's a good question. Because it'd be specific to the Google Maps plugin, I guess, or which plugin are you using for the map?
This is Mapbox.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm wondering if Mapbox exposes any kind of classes that you might be able to use custom CSS for.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but even then, I'm not sure if that would work because you'd have to track the hover between the two. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a direct answer for you, Steve. This is a tough one because it's not exposed by the plugin. Are you able to fork the Mapbox component?
To what, sorry?
Are you able to fork the Mapbox component?
No, I don't. I don't think so, no.
If you press the three dots in the top right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. That might be, it might be worth giving that a go then, just to see. Because I think because it's not exposed by the component, the only possible way is to dive into the code for this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I would give that a go. And then if that doesn't work, put this in the community. Hopefully someone else has an answer for this, because I haven't personally I haven't explored the Mapbox too much for this kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry, I don't have a direct answer for you.
Okay, no, no worries. I will try it with the forked component, and otherwise I will post in the community. Thanks, Matthew.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey Alex, you think it's worth using native real-time via plugin real-time when implementing chats on Superbase with a large number of active users, or via real-time subscribe to channel, broadcast a message? I think subscribe to channel. This isn't something I've properly explored in the past, but give me 1 second. I will do some digging. Yeah, I'm just looking at our docs. So I think subscribing to a channel is the best way. So whenever they open that chat, you subscribe them to a channel, or they create a chat, sorry, you subscribe them to a channel, and then do it that way. Just because the sheer amount of database changes you'd have to make if you were to do it the other way, could be a bit unnecessary. You can do it the other way. You can do it both ways, but I'd advise doing it subscribe to channel. But also, Alex, I'm just checking, what do you mean by plugin real time? Because the Superbase plugin, it has I mean, the only real-time actions it has are related to channels and broadcasting messages. So what did you mean by the first option, plug in real time? I'm just reading it back now. You mean the database? Okay, yeah, of course, yeah. 100% I recommend doing it via channel, at large scale. Sorry, I just read back and clocked what you meant. Yeah, no, yeah, I get you. Yeah, I mean, if you're just starting out, using real-time collections would probably make your life a bit simpler because it can be a bit complex to set up the real-time channels. Um, but for true scalability, definitely the channels is the best way to go, but it just depends on how quickly you want to get something out the door. Yeah, I understand that. Definitely the second way, but it depends on your specific use case. And when I say use case, really just I guess where the product sorry is at in its life, how many users it has, that kind of thing, how quickly you need to ship something. If you mean you have a lot of questions and you're not sure whether you should ask them, you're more than welcome to ask any questions you have. Hey, what's up? Sure thing. Just let me know what you have in mind. An integration for dynamic SEO. Yes. So I mean, it's you can handle dynamic metadata with WeWeb. I'll put a link to our docs for it. The docs are slightly. I'll put a link to our docs and something from the forum of how you can set it up. Because the docs were put in place almost a year ago now. It's on the roadmap to update them. But in terms of natively handling basically some kind of dynamic metadata, so you have better SEO. SSR, so server-side rendering, is on the roadmap. We're hoping to address it towards the end of the year because it's one of the most requested features. So it's definitely on the radar. But in the meantime, you can handle dynamic metadata. As I say, I'm just trying to find our docs for it now. So here is a link to the docs we have. And I will also try and dig out the community post where people have been discussing how to set it up. And here is a post from someone basically just using different services to better handle dynamic pages for SEO purposes. Hey, what's up? So the task, create a table 5 by 20. Each table cell must have a text and can be lorem ipsum, but must be long one. Each cell only shows one line of the text. And on mouse hover, it should show the tooltip. Okay, I think I get you. Okay. So we can do this now. Let me make this full screen. So the first thing I'll do is I will add a table to the page. I have these, I was messing around with some stuff, which is why I have this. Let me get rid of this. I'll find a table, add this to the page. And you want it to be 5 by 20. So we have 5 columns already. And I just need some data to populate this. So what I'm going to do is, bear with me. I'm going to stop showing my screen for a second because I'm just going to use ChatGPT to generate some mock data that I can use to populate the table, basically. Cool, so I have that data now. So I basically just went into ChatGPT there, and I got it to generate an array for me. So I'm just going to create a data variable, make it an array. I will give it the default value of this. Cool, and then I will set it up on this table. So on the collection list, I will enable repeat items, bind it to my test data. So that's all shown. Then for all of these fields, let me get rid of these images that come with the default one. And this hover drop down will actually come in very handy. So what I'll do is I'll move this here, and I'm going to get rid of the button that's in here and instead replace it with the text content. And I'm going to bind the text to this lorem ipsum text, and let me just check this works first. Okay. Cool, when you want to show a tooltip, so I don't know, we can say for the text, let's just say tool. So we can have something like this on the text. This obviously isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but just to get it, just to show you quickly. And so then for this, to have it be 5 by 20, we currently have the 20 rows, but I can just duplicate this. So now it's 5 columns. And so now when I put this into preview, when I hover over the text, we have this, not the prettiest tooltip in the world, but it does a job. So there's a few questions between. There was one from Stoika. Hey there, how can I actually create a search bar? And when the client types the VAT number of someone that I'm working with, the profile with all the information should appear. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Basically, you'll need an input on the WeWeb side. And on the input, you can have an on-change workflow where whenever the input changes, you would probably need to query your backend, so your database, where you store the client information. So whenever they type something into the VAT number input, let's say, you make a call to your backend, find all the people with the matching VAT number, and then beneath your search bar, whenever you get new results from your backend for matching people with that VAT number, you just display them. I mean, that's really all there is to it. It's definitely much possible. Sorry, what did I miss? What's up? The text in the tooltip must be of the cell text. Okay, that's easy then. Give me 1 second. So I won't go through and do this for all of the columns, but the idea would be then, so in each of these cells is a different column. And so I just need to go into the text of the hover dropdown, which is what shows from the tooltip. And so for each of these, I just need to change the text that gets displayed. So this is what we're showing for the first one. So I'll bind this to be column 1. Then for this one, I'll change it to be column 2. And I won't do it for all of them, but if I now hover these, you can see the reason that's not the correct text is because I didn't change these either. So I need to go through all the columns and then change the binding to be their correct column like so. But for these 2 columns that are set up correctly, you can see I hover these and it shows the appropriate text. When tooltip is shown, you must be able to put the mouse on the tooltip and other cells will not show in the tooltip. Other cells will not show the tooltip unless mouse hovered it. I'm not too sure what you mean. So here you can, on the example I've got, you can put the mouse in the tooltip and the other cells will not show the tooltip. I'm not too sure what you mean by that part. It might be one for the community forum. What's up? If you can't fit it all in the message here, it might be best to put it in the forum, and then we can check it out afterwards. I'll put a link to the forum if you don't have it already. I've just put a link in the chat now. And Stan joined me while I was going through that, so I'll switch over to Stan.
Hey, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, all good. How's it going?
Yeah. So perfect. So look, I collected a bunch of small things that I just think, I believe we're kind of power users by this point when it comes to WeWeb. We're diving really deep. We're doing like complex app and complex workflows at this point. So I think we're kind of stress testing what it can be.
Nice.
And due to this, I think we found some things that are like that could be improved. So I would just like to talk about few of them. All right.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good.
First thing, I have like 6 of them. First thing is dropdown. When you have a list like the one that you created, usually what you have on the end of the list is like the button that you press and you have a drop down over there, right? I mean, this is a typical behavior. But currently, the problem is when you have a button with a drop down, the way drop down behaves, it appears like to the bottom and to the right. So it's cut off with the screen. Like, it doesn't move. So this is like the first thing I see with the drop downs.
As in, it doesn't automatically detect where the edges of the screen are and position itself.
Yeah. And due to default behavior that it just appears to the bottom and to the right, it's cut off, right? So this is
that's been on my wish list as well. Unfortunately, Flo, I think last time you were here, Flo was with us. He's our CPO. I'll pass on all of this feedback. But yeah, that's on my wish list also.
Okay, perfect. So that's number 1. Also with the drop downs, buttons with just icon. That would be great because right now, I can add icon on the left, on the right. But for example, in list like that, this is a typical list, and you want to have a button that you press and you have like 3 dots. You press, there's more options like Notion or whatever. And so that's quite a bummer because there is a ready component in WeWeb, like with dropdown of everything, but we cannot use it because of this small little thing, because it just looks off. I gotta put the text like the space bar, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so these two things. I mean, I submitted the tickets, but I have a feeling like some of them, like nothing happened. So
If what there is a for all of this feedback,
yeah.
it would be great if you could put them into tickets, because every single ticket gets put into a formal product process where it actually gets reviewed. So I'd love to go through it now,
Okay.
but if you do get the time, and if you haven't already, it'd be fantastic to also put it into tickets, because that's how it gets formally put through the process.
Yeah, I did, but I just didn't notice like a lot of activity over there. So yeah, so I decided to hop in. Next thing, and this is probably the most infuriating, to be honest, when you're working with a big app like ours. I will share my screen for a second.
Yep.
So this is a small thing, but it really, really can mess up the workflow. So when I'm on the pages, I have like a lot of pages, right?
Yeah.
And this whole thing, man, it's so hard sometimes. You know, for example, like this thing, I'm on a page right now, this page over here, it's page 1L, but I have this open for free C, you know? So sometimes when I'm here, I press this and it's free C open here, and I was
And you change something. Yeah. Yeah.
man, and I've been changing workflows. The worst thing is that we're working, I'm not alone. It's a team of us, you know? And sometimes I'm popping into something somebody did, and I'm seeing like, oh, this is a total mess. And so I start editing it, and then in the middle, I realize it's wrong, and I cannot use the backup because the other person did something else. So either we lose this or that, you know? It's like, so this is like a really, really
I hear you 100%. I've done this exact same thing before, where I've accidentally changed stuff, and
Yeah.
the only way I've drilled into myself not to do it is because I've burned too many times, so it's ingrained into me to check it, which isn't a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know it,
Yeah.
right?
So this is there's some design tweaks coming over the next 2 months or so, and they should hopefully resolve this massively.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So that is a thing. Also, sometimes, you know, it also common with this whole thing, you know, when you just open this page, it would be kind of nice to see where this page is. Because, you know, sometimes I'm on the page, we have like a lot of folders, subfolders, as you can see. And yeah, I mean, you can tell even right now. I open it up, this one is selected, this one is selected. Like, of course, if you stop and think about it, you can figure it out. But, you know, when you're doing a lot of
takes mental work,
yeah. So that's like a big issue. And one small thing that I noticed, it's not really a problem for me, but I can imagine it was a problem for me when I just started using the app, right? I go here to auth, and there's no information where I am. You know, like I clicked it, but it's not like not highlighted. And I remember at the very beginning we had like we were super confused, like how do I go back to my data?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, this again, there's design tweaks coming in the next 2 months,
Okay.
and it should also solve this massively.
Okay, cool. So this one is perfect. And the last one, maybe there is like some workaround to it, and maybe there is something I don't know. But in the platforms, like like Stripe. I mean, we're very heavily looking on other platforms where we build. And when you have a search, right? For example, you have a list and you want to filter, I don't know, users by active or whatever. Usually what happens, all those things are saved in the query of the URL. You know, and I found no way to do such a thing with WeWeb. Is there a way?
Yes. I can share my screen. Actually, what would be best, just because we're tight for time, what I'll do is I'll link you a video I created a few months ago on variables. Because
But
basically
variables, I know, but I mean like the variables in the URL.
Yeah. So whenever you create a variable, there's a type of variable called query.
Yeah.
And so basically, whenever you save something to a variable that's of type query, it gets added to the URL automatically. And vice versa, if you put a query in the URL and the name of that query case matches one of the variables in your project that's of type query, it'll automatically get pulled into that variable.
Oh, so it works automatically with variables. So all the variables I have, I can access them through UTMs.
If they're of type query, yeah.
If they of the type query.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
the
send me the link. I want to take a lot of time with this. So
super.
yeah, this is, I just thought, as we are using a lot of this platform, I think the feedback, if I was the creator, it would help me. So yeah.
Thank you so much. No, I will pass it all on to the product team. And you said you put them all as tickets, right?
Yeah, I think I did for sure the dropdown thing and navigation, but I don't think it really went through because I kind of sent the ticket that, hey, I think this is a problem, but I feel like I got a response like, what is wrong? I mean, it works fine. So,
but did you might have put it as a bug as opposed to a feedback ticket? I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was so, usually when you submit tickets, like you're so fucking angry, because
I understand,
you,
Jeff.
you removed something or something happened, so you're like in this mind space.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But it's so that the majority of those I think that were design related should hopefully be resolved in the next 2 months or so whenever we do the changes. But I hear you on the drop down one, and there was the drop down one for the automatic positioning. That's one of the massive ones on my bucket list. And then, as I say, the design ones hopefully we can resolve over the next few months.
Okay, cool. So thank you a lot. And yeah, does it also, if you could push for the button with just icon? I mean, it's a small thing, but
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the button with an icon. I think you can
just icon.
Yeah, so it's you might have to do a bit of a workaround. Do you know what the starter kit is?
Starter kit. I mean, like this library, right?
Yeah. So there's whenever you first create the WeWeb project, I can't remember if we add it by default, but basically there's a library you can add to your project called the starter kit, and it's basically, have you messed around with components at all in WeWeb?
Components is so far not. To be
No,
honest.
So basically the starter kit is a bunch of components we've created.
Yeah, it's library. Yeah.
And it's but it comes with a button. It's different to the button you just get in the ad panel. And
but can you use it in dropdown?
Yes.
Oh.
Because the dropdown, if it's the one I'm thinking that you use, when you say dropdown, what's the actual name of the element?
You have this. Okay, I will share my screen like super quick. I don't want to take a lot of time, but for example, I don't know if this one is our custom made or not, but yeah, this one is custom made. So yeah, I know where one. I know where one without a custom can be. So let me. Okay. You know what? I don't want to search for it right now, but basically there's, I know there's this component here, drop down, this one, data, drop down.
What you can, so that drop down, you can drag anything into its trigger. I don't know.
But it doesn't work. I tried. I mean, because I know what you're talking about, that when I drop this thing, let's add it, I don't know, somewhere, side menu for, I can wait. Let's say I add it here, right? And here there is this trigger. And you mean that I can drop anything here, right?
Does this component not let you?
I mean, I tried give an icon over here and the button.
Yes, and then
but it didn't work for me.
So if you delete the button now, in theory, when you click the icon, it should.
Oh shit! It now works.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't. My bad.
Okay. So if you from the starter kit, we have a pre-made component, and then you can just put an icon-only button in there, or even just drag an icon. That would work.
Consider this one resolved then.
Cool. Okay. Happy days.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Super. Cheers. Right. Thanks, Dan. Cool. Right. I shall try and blast through the questions that we've had in the meantime. So Sean, I saw you joined us. I just saw your question in the chat. I'll bring you in. Hey, Sean.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm just starting, but I'm good on development. It's just the CSS, trying to get things side by side. I just don't know best practice. Things are always stacking this way.
Yeah.
And I know you got flex block, flex, columns, containers, div. I just want some best practices.
Yeah, so I had this question when I first joined the team as well, because I was a bit confused as a user. I'll share my screen quickly. So basically all of the things in the ad panel, these things, they're all basically just divs. So the section is basically one big div that you can put on the page. Ignore that for now. But the container, the div, and these flexes, and also the grid are basically divs with different settings. So the container, if I put this on the page, all this is a div, but by default, it has a width of 100% and also a max width applied. But that's it. It's basically just a div that comes with predefined settings. And the horizontal flex and the vertical flex, these are also just divs, but they also come with predefined settings. So if you want horizontal flex, it's the exact same as having display flex, but just setting this to horizontal. And if you want vertical flex, it's the exact same as having this, but we're just putting this to vertical. And then likewise with the grid, it's the exact same as having a standard div, but just changing the display to grid. So all of these elements you see here are actually behind the scenes just divs. They just come with different predefined properties.
To make it easy on us. Got it.
Yeah.
So side by side would be horizontal.
You could use the horizontal flex, or if you wanted to, because it's just a div behind the scenes, you could have a div like this. I've just got 2 buttons as the example, but then you could just, if I put this to flex again, you could just change it from vertical to horizontal.
Oh, perfect. Okay, you recommend doing that over columns?
It's up to you. When you say columns, do you mean like this element?
Yes.
Yes, I would, just because I think we have I'd recommend doing it this way, because I've heard the tech team, there's certain things with the columns that can cause some issues if you get into a huge amount of columns. It depends on your project, I guess. But if you just said, should I do it divs or should I do it columns? If it's not a massive headache to figure out how to do it in divs, I'd recommend it with divs.
Okay. Yeah, because I'll be switching from tablet to phone a lot. So
yeah.
And I noticed columns, you can only shrink so small on the screen and it just won't go shrink any smaller.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if you can figure out with divs, I always recommend just doing it manually.
Okay. And then to switch screens, if we have a bunch, do we always have to go to preview and then jump to the screen and go back to edit?
No, you don't. So what you can do is you can switch breakpoints at the top here. So you can switch to tablet, you can switch to mobile while still in edit mode. And
Right, no, not those screens. If you have I have a bunch of pop-ups and regular, and I can't get my pop-ups to disappear unless I go to preview mode and switch to something else.
Is it these pop-ups? You've created them in the pop-up menu?
Yes.
So if I open it, so when you open it, so this is open in the corner here. And so to close it, I just need to press, I don't need to switch to preview and close it that way. I can just press close in the top right here. And then I'm back into the standard edit of everything. Or you can do it here as well. So when you press open, when you hover over the instances here, you can also close it from here.
Got it. And then when we have that element that drops things down, it won't automatically hide. It stays on the screen. And I can change the Z index to drop, bring it back or bring it forward. But if we want to keep it off the edit screen, do we need to put it on hide temporarily?
I'm not too sure what you mean.
When I create a drop down and from the element you have, and it has like 4 elements, it doesn't disappear. If I want to work on other parts of the screen, it stays on the screen.
Yeah. So you mean
it's like hit it.
This one?
Yeah. If there's other stuff around
Yes.
in it, it doesn't disappear until.
So this one has a unique property where you have force display in editor and it's on to by default. So what you can do is you can just turn this off because it's only there for editing. So then once you turn this off, it will only ever open if you put it into preview mode and actually click it or hover it, whichever setting you have on.
Perfect. All right, cool. You end at 1 o'clock, right? So I'm going to let you go.
Yes, super. I've got a few more that I'll try and get to in the meantime.
Thank you.
Cheers, Sean. Cool. Okay. Alexander, tell me please how WeWeb implies server-side pagination in the Superbase plugin. There is a table with 20,000 rows. WeWeb crashes if you pull in everything you patch. Yep, that's true. So if you want to, have I got a project with? What I'll do, Alex, is I'll link you the our documentation on this because I know we specifically. I made a note of this in the documentation. So there's a section at the very bottom of the intro to collections, which details front end versus back end, basically. And in the documentation, we talk about filters, but the exact same thing applies to pagination. And so whenever you create a collection for Superbase specifically, there's two sets of filters you can apply. One is at the top, and then once you fetch the collection, you can apply further filters afterwards. The ones you apply after will be front end, and the ones you apply at the top will be back end. And so basically to apply the server-side pagination, aka the backend pagination, you'll just want to apply it to the configuration option at the top as opposed to the one at the bottom. I will put I've put a link in the chat just now to the docs that goes through the Superbase plugin specifically and the front end versus back end options. And I've just seen your message about the offset. Let me just make sure I haven't made a mistake with this. I'm just trying to find a project that I have with a Superbase collection. I see what you mean. Okay. In which case, Alex, so I might be mistaken on this, because you can obviously, whenever you choose the table, you can then, oh no. Okay, no, yeah, what I said is still true. It's in the query configuration. I'll share my screen quickly. So basically in this query configuration, you could turn on pagination and you could do it here. And this would apply backend pagination. So there was another question. Tell me how to correctly configure cause and proxying of HTTP requests in scenarios. Our problem is that it works on the dev version, but on the prod version, the proxying gives undefined in the URL. That's a very specific one. I'd recommend for that either putting in a support ticket, because it will require a bit of digging just through your project to see exactly how you've set up those requests, because it will be case specific. So I think it's pretty best for that one if you put in a support ticket so the team can actually have a look through your project and go through it specifically. Cool. Okay. I think that is us then. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I won't be here next week, and neither will Flo. And I won't be here the week after, and I'm not sure Flo will either. So I don't know if there'll be another office hours for 3 weeks, as we're both off on holiday for the next 2 weeks. I'll try and see if someone else from the team can step in the interim. Fingers crossed they can. If not, we shall see everyone in 3 weeks' time. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a lovely couple of weeks in the interim.